What if I told you that stress is not your enemy, but your hidden superpower? We have all had those days when stress feels like too much to handle. Maybe it's work deadlines, health concerns, or just the uncertainty of life. But what if I told you that stress has a purpose, and when used correctly, it can actually make you stronger? Depending on the culture you grew up in, stress might be seen as something to avoid, something bad for your health. But where I come from, stress was never the villain. In fact, being stressed was considered a good thing. It made you more creative, more sensible, and a sharper thinker. Some of the most valuable qualities in life. So instead of fearing stress, what if we learned how to work with it? Stick with me, because in this video, you will discover how stress actually affects your brain and body, why it's not always bad for you, and 3 simple science-backed techniques to manage it effectively. Before we get into how stress impacts your brain and body, let's first get clear on what stress actually is. At its simplest, stress is your body's natural response to challenges. It triggers hormones like cortisol and adrenaline, preparing you for action. But stress is not that simple. It's actually defined in 3 different ways. As a stimulus, like when you say, I have high stress job. As a response, mostly expressing like, my heart races when I feel stressed. And as an interaction, mostly expressed like, I feel stressed when making financial decisions at work, but not other types of decisions. In reality, the stress is both a physical and emotional reaction, a response to any external event or internal pressure that exceeds our ability to cope. Now, I know that sounds a bit technical and complicated, but let's not get stressed about stress. Instead, let's break it down with an example. Imagine this. You are stuck in the traffic, already running late for an important meeting or picking up your child from school. As the minute pass, you grip the steering wheel tighter. Your heart beats faster and frustration starts to build up. This is your body's automatic reaction. Your nervous system is releasing stress hormones, getting you ready to act. At the same time, your mind starts racing. What if I miss the meeting? What will my boss think? What if my child is the last one waiting? These emotional reactions create even more tension, making you feel overwhelmed and powerless. Now, if this happens once in a while, your body can handle it just fine. But if stress like this becomes a daily habit, whether from traffic, work, or personal responsibilities, it can accumulate and start affecting your sleep, mood, and health. The truth is that you can't completely avoid stress because that's impossible. Instead, you need to learn how to manage it effectively, reframe your perspective, and use simple tools to stay calm even in challenging situations. And in just a bit, I'll share exactly how to do that. But first, it's important to understand how stress impacts your brain and body. Imagine you're about to give a big presentation or competing in a race. Your heart beats faster, your senses heighten, and you feel a rush of energy. That's stress in action, preparing you to perform at your best. This is short-term stress, and it can be beneficial because it improves focus, sharpens reflexes, and boosts motivation so you can meet deadlines, and it helps you react quickly in emergencies or push through a tough workout. But what happens when the stress doesn't go away? When stress lingers for too long, it turns into chronic stress, which can drain your energy, disrupt your sleep, weaken your immune system, and can even affect your memory and cognitive functions like clear thinking and decision-making abilities. Just like a rubber band, if you stretch it occasionally, it remains useful. But if you stretch it too much for too long, it snaps or loses its ability to return to its original state. Research shows that seeing stress as a tool rather than threat reduces its negative effect. So instead of fearing stress, what if we learn to work with it? I believe stress is like fire. Left uncontrolled, it burns everything down. But when used wisely, it fuels creativity, focus, and resilience. The goal is not to eliminate stress, but understand it, manage it, and redirect it in a way that benefits you. And I can think of 3 quick ways to do just that. First, reframe your mindset about stress. Instead of saying, I'm so stressed, I can't handle this, try shifting to, I feel this energy because I care about the outcome and I can use it to perform better. Study shows that people who see stress as a challenge rather than a threat experience fewer negative health effects. They perform better under pressure, they stay more resilient in long run, and in fact, some of the most successful people like athletes, entrepreneurs, and performers experience stress all the time. But they don't let it stop them. Instead, they use stress as fuel. That brings me to the second one. Use the stress as a signal to take action. What I mean by that is, stress is not just a random discomfort. It's a feedback from your body and mind. Instead of letting it overwhelm you, listen to what it's trying to tell you. Ask yourself, is this stress telling me to prepare better? Is it a sign I need to take a break, slow down, or set boundaries? Or can I break this big task into smaller steps to feel more in control? When you start treating stress as a signal rather than an enemy, you take back control, and instead of reacting emotionally, you respond with intention. And the third, my favorite one, channel stress into productivity. This is what I do every time I feel stressed. I disappear, not to escape, but to redirect that energy into building something new or finishing something that I've been procrastinating on for a very long time. For me, stress creates energy, and you can either let that energy spiral into anxiety or redirect it into the action. So I usually set a timer and work in short bursts. This turns stress into lesser focus. I turn the pressure into motivation by setting small, achievable goals for the day or week. I shift my mindset from fear to excitement because, funny enough, your body processes both emotions the same way. You probably know some people around you do so well under deadline or pressure. That's because they have trained themselves to use stress as fuel rather than something that slows them down. Now that we know how to reframe stress, use it as a signal, and channel it into productivity, the next question is, how do we keep it under control when it starts to feel overwhelming? Because even when we change our mindset about stress, our bodies still react physically. Our heart rate increases, our breathing becomes shallow, and our muscle tense up. That's why it's just as important to have simple, effective tools to regulate your nervous system and bring your body back into balance. I'm going to share 3 powerful techniques that can help you do just that. Let me warn you, these are not just quick fixes. They are science-backed methods you can use anytime, anywhere to stay in control of stress instead of letting it control you. Let's start with the first one. It's your breath. Yes, it's really that simple. Your breath is one of the quickest ways to reset your nervous system. Let's try the 4-7-8 breathing technique. Inhale through your nose for 4 seconds. Hold your breath for 7 seconds. Inhale slowly through your nose for 8 seconds. Repeat 3 to 4 times. The reason breathing works is because it signals your brain to shift from fight or flight to rest and digest mode. Whenever you feel stress creeping in, just pause, take a deep breath, and reset. Next, try movement, which is my personal favorite and one of the fastest ways to release stress. I have a name for it, the stress release circuit. Your body stores stress. You might feel it as neck stiffness, headache, or trouble sleeping. And one of the fastest ways to release this stress is through movement. Try anything from swinging your arms and twisting your body to jumping jacks for 30 to 60 seconds. You will immediately feel and notice the tension melting away. You can also do 2 to 3 minutes heel raises or check out the video I made right here on YouTube, 5-minute daily exercises to strengthen your posture. The reason movement works is because it increases blood flow, oxygenates your brain, and lowers cortisol. So the next time you feel overwhelmed, shake it out, stretch, and take a quick walk. Finally, try magnesium. Magnesium is natural muscle relaxant and stress reducer. Dissolve magnesium salt into bathtub filled with warm water and soak yourself for 15 minutes before bed. The reason magnesium works is that it supports nerve function, reduces muscle tension, and promotes deeper sleep. But here's the thing, stress relief is not one size fits all. The key is to find what feels natural to you and make it a habit. Whether it is a magnesium soak, a quiet tea ritual, or a moment of reflection, making time for relaxation is essential. I always love learning how different cultures manage stress, and here are just a few examples I've come across. In China, Japan, and Korea, people socialize through outdoor games like chess, and tea rituals are used to slow down and relax. In Rome, the Middle East, Turkey, and Morocco, hammam steam baths and saunas are traditional ways to detox and unwind. In Africa, India, and South America, rhythmic drumming, devotional chanting, and spiritual gatherings help people release tension and find inner peace. In Latin America, people release stress through music, dance, and vibrant festivals. In Thailand and other Asian cultures, pressure point massage, herbal compresses, and beachside relaxation are common ways to relieve stress. So the main point is, stress is not the enemy. It's how we respond to it that makes the difference. By breathing deeply, moving your bodies, and using magnesium for relaxation or anything else depending on your culture. I want to hear from you. Which of these techniques are you excited to try first? Or do you have a stress relief method from your own culture that works wonders? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to learn from you. If this video helped shift your perspective on stress, give it a like, share it with someone who needs to hear this, and subscribe to this channel because I already like you.